Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. Got a great show for you here today between the San Diego Padres and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes, so let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Sunday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the better second basemen in the game, even though he's starting off a little slow here early in the season, Fernando Tatis Jr., and the day that we've been waiting for many, many months, making his MLB debut at third base, our guy, Colt Emerson. Let's go. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting San Diego Padres. Leading off for the Padres at second base, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second, playing third base, Miguel Andujar. Batting third, playing left field, Gavin Sheets. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for San Diego, Manny Machado. Batting fifth, playing shortstop for San Diego, Xander Bogaerts. Batting sixth, playing center field, Jackson Merrill. Batting seventh and playing right field, Ramon Laureano. Batting eighth, the former Seattle Mariner first baseman, Ty France. And batting ninth, catching today for the Padres, Freddie Fermin. And making his debut for the San Diego Padres here in 2026, the former Red Sox, Lucas Giolito. And now let's get into the starting lineup for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second at center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting seventh, the Italian Stallion, DHing for Seattle, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, catching today for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. And making his MLB debut, playing third base. He can also play short and second. It is the one, the only, Colt Emerson. And on the mound for the Mariners, our number one, 5-2 record, ERA of 2.84. Our ace, it is George Kirby. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And we got one more day left for the Paisley Pup Vet Fund for her ear infection and vet visit tomorrow. So anything that can be done on that end through Venmo, Cash App, or the Super Chat will be greatly appreciated. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And due to the Colt Emerson call-up from the AAA affiliate, the Tacoma Rainiers, Brendan Donovan is placed on the 10-day IL, so it's not ideal to have Donovan and Cal on the IL, but we got to do our best. But at least on the flip side, we get Colt Emerson on the squad now instead of waiting until June, and I love that. retroactive to May 16th for the left groin muscle strain for Donnie, and hopefully he'll heal up sooner than later. Michelle in the building, what's good? Dark Passenger in the building, what's good? AZ, Steven in the building, Power Code in the building, Daniel, Rebecca in the building. Let's go, baby. Beards off in the building. Dada in the building, Joe in the building. Let's go. And again, I've been waiting on this particular day for quite some time. And again, once we get Donnie back and they end up replacing JP, for Colt Emerson, and we can have Colt and Cole, right further at shortstop and second base, and hopefully at some point a healthy Donnie and a healthy Naylor at first. It'll be one of the better infields. But again, at the time being, we got a lot of injuries, and we just got to be able to do our best with the roster that we have at hand. Angry in the building. What's good? And this game is a global broadcast on NBC and Peacock. Definitely excited to see what Colt is going to do. And on the mound for the Mariners, starting it off, again, like I mentioned, 5-2 record, ERA of 2.84, George Kirby. And leading off for the Padres, second baseman Fernando Tatis Jr., who doesn't have a home run yet, which is kind of wild considering how good of a player he is. Batting second, playing third base, Miguel Andujar, who's been great against the Mariners in this series. And batting third, playing left field, Gavin Sheets. Let's go. We got to be able to salvage this series, right? We haven't beaten the Padres once this season. But again, if you were, a bettings man, this would probably be the game that we have the best chance. We got our best pitcher on the mound. Obviously, we don't have Brendan Donovan, but again, we probably wouldn't have had him anyways if they were just going to rest him and not put him on the IL. We get Colt Emerson. He's been, doing pretty good. Has a little bit of a high strikeout rate in AAA, but again, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, just like it was for Cole Young last year when we brought him up in June. And again, it's just going to be the Cole and Colt, duo. And again, I can't wait to be able to see what this tandem is going to be able to do, not only defensively together, but offensively together as well. And again, we're going to start him at third, and it's not really his primary position. Same thing with Donnie. Normally they would play, second base or short. So anytime you end up throwing a guy into a newer position, there, is a chance for some errors or some mistakes, for Colt playing third base. And hopefully he ends up, doing the best that he can, and also hopes us, we get a few hits out of him as well. All right, we're about to get started here. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch from Kirby, high and inside to Fernando Tatis Jr. Sinker, 98 miles an hour, high and tight, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, hard hit ball, deep into right field, fading foul. Sinker, 98 miles an hour, right down the middle by George Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs, top of the first inning. 0-0 here early between the Padres and the Mariners. 1-1 pitch, high and away, four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour there by Kirby. 2 balls and 1 strike to Fernando Tatis Jr. The original plan was to bring him up in June, but, again, we definitely are desperate, for, players at this time. So, again, if Donnie didn't go to the IL, realistically, Colt doesn't get called up today, but it definitely was something that they were monitoring very closely, and the time is right. We need him. 3-1 pitch, popped up behind the plate and out of play. Sinker, 98 miles an hour, right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early with Kirby on the mound. Fernando Tatis Jr. in the box. Three-two pitch, little dribbler up the middle. Kirby, nice throw to first. Just in time to Josh Naylor, and down goes Tatis, and that is 1 away. Next up, for the Padres in the 2-hole, third baseman Miguel Andujar. On deck will be Gavin Sheets. First pitch from Kirby, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a sweeper, 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and inside, sweeper, 88 miles an hour, missing there by maybe about a half inch. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Miguel Andujar. Beautiful weather there in the Pacific Northwest there in Seattle. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Andujar. 2-1 pitch, high and inside with that sinker, 98 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to Miguel Andujar. Three-one pitch, fouled off there by Andujar. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Andujar. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Padres and the Mariners. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, four-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour there by George Kirby. Count now is full. 3-2 pitch, a little slow dribbler up the middle, right to Josh Naylor, toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. Sean in the building, what's good, brother? All day in the building, what's good? Spike in the building, what's good? 2 up and 2 down. Next up is left fielder Gavin Sheets. First pitch to Sheets. Crushes that one in deep right field. Back, and gone. And Gavin Sheets' hot streak continues as that goes into right field about 15 rows up. And just like that, 1-0 San Diego. And this has kind of been a trend for us, no matter, who's been pitching. They swept us in San Diego and won the first 2 games, obviously, within the last few days. And now at this point, we're going to have to look up and hopefully we can match their energy. We know how great of a team that they are, 27-18, 14-8 on the road. One of the best teams, not only in the National League, but overall. And again, hopefully that'll be the only home run Kirby gives up. Next up is Manny Machado. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a sweeper, 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off towards right field with a sweeper, 88 miles an hour, no balls and 2 strikes to Manny Machado. And as long as he gives up 3 runs or less, we should be in a good position. And again, we need to score runs. We need to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if you get to that number, more times than not, you're going to be able to compete. But only getting to 1 to 3 runs, that ain't going to cut it, especially against a team like this. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the sweeper, 89 miles an hour there by Kirby. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Manny Machado. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball out of play. And I don't really necessarily think it's, Kirby necessarily playing bad. I just think the Padres are that good. They have a lot of home run hitters on the team. And just because Fernando Tatis Jr., doesn't have a home run yet, a lot of the teammates do. And, they've been one of the better top 5 teams in baseball since the beginning of the year. We got the Dodgers, we got the Padres, you got the Braves, the Yankees and the Rays, as well as everyone in the National League Central above 500. So 2-2 pitch, right on the line, but doesn't get the call. Sinker, 99 miles an hour. Kind of surprised they're not challenging. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Padres with a 1-0 lead with a Gavin Sheets solo dinger, and it's not the first one that he's hit on us in this series. And again, hopefully it will be the last, though. Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down he goes. And a nice job there by George Kirby. Trying to gather himself after giving up the home run to Sheets. And that is finally out number 3. Down goes Manny Machado, and let's go to the Mariner lineup and see who's up here in the bottom of the first, and hopefully we'll be able to tie the game up here very quickly. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. And batting third in the 3-hole, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Try to ends up. Let's go M's. And on the mound, making his 2026 debut for the Padres, Lucas Giolito. So we should have some wiggle room, considering this is going to be his first game, for the Padres. And hopefully he ends up having a meltdown and we'll be able to take advantage right from the very start. 36 subs away from 24,100. Shout out to all of our female viewership, as well as people watching all over the globe, United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. I appreciate you. We're at 34 likes. $66 to $100. And every dono that we get here today, as well as on Friday and Saturday, through the Venmo, the Cash App, or the Super Chat, will go towards the Paisley Pup Vet Fund. I got to take her to the vet tomorrow at 3. She got her first ear infection in her life, and again, it's pretty bad. So anything that can be done would be greatly appreciated from anybody watching here today. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 San Diego. It's not a vibes move. The reason that we called him up is because Brendan Donovan went to the IL. So we obviously need another player to play. So he was next in line, and, he might still be a little raw. His strikeout percentage is a little high, but again, he's been playing pretty damn well, in the farm system like Cade Anderson. And, again, at some point they were going to call him up in June. And, again, when you have injured players, sometimes next man up mentality is where we're at. First pitch from Giolito to Crawford, high and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, Sheets with a solo dinger. And again, you don't expect George Kirby to give up too much, but again, I think it's really more about the players on the other side rather than our pitchers. This team is incredibly talented. They are a World Series contender, and we just have to find a way to prevent the sweep. 1-0 pitch is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. 2-0 pitch, high and away, and a little bit of a mini meltdown here early from Lucas Giolito, the former Red Sox. 3-0 pitch, finally gets a strike right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. And a lot of us have been waiting, for, Cole and Colt to get a chance to play together. It's not going to be side by side until maybe later in the year, or once, obviously we get into next year when realistically Luis Castillo and J.P. Crawford more than likely won't be on the team anymore. And again, then he'll be able to play the position that he has, grown up playing. And that'll obviously be shortstop for Colt Emerson, but playing third here in his debut. Three-two pitch, popped up and out of play. Change up 78 miles an hour there by Lucas Giolito. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Padres. 3-2 pitch, a little slow dribbler, throw to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. And they got Ty France, the former Seattle Mariner first baseman, playing today. So it'll be interesting to see what Ty does against the Mariners. Next up for Seattle, in the 2-hole, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. On deck will be Josh Naylor. Tridents up. Let's go M's. But at least the Sheets homer was only, a solo jack instead of, us being down 2-0 or 3-0 or 4-0. It's not ideal to be down early, but, And a little dribbler by Julio, almost in the exact same spot. Throw to first to tie France. 2 up and 2 down. Fernando Tatis Jr. getting some early work here on defense in the bottom of the first inning. Down goes JP and down goes Julio. Slow dribblers right up the middle to Tatis, almost identical plays. And let's see if Josh Naylor can get one past the infield to get a hit to start a rally here in the bottom of the first. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch is high and away. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour there by Giolito. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Giolito to Naylor. Beaverton in the building, baby. I have roots there. 2-0 pitch. Popped up into shallow third base, and that is out number 3. 3 up and 3 down. End of the first inning, 1-0 San Diego. Now let's see who's up next as we go to the top of the second on this global broadcast on NBC and Peacock. Next up in the 5-hole, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Batting second in the 6-hole, center fielder Jackson Merrill. And batting third in the 7-hole, right fielder Ramon Laureano. And on the mound for the Mariners, coming into the game with a 5-2 record, our best, ERA of 2.84. It is our ace, our number 1 this year, George Kirby. And even though he did give up that solo dinger to Sheets, hopefully he'll settle down and settle in. And again, we're going to need a good performance out of George. And hopefully we can hit 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we're able to do that, I think we would have a pretty good chance of getting the victory here today. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40-plus years on the radio for Rick Rizzs. He's retiring after the season. So obviously we dedicate the season not only to Rick Rizzs, but also in baseball heaven, Dave Niehaus. Tridents up. Let's go M's. 36 subs to go to 24,100. Gained another sub since the commercial break. Appreciate you. 35 subs to go to 24,100. End of the first inning, 1-0 Padres. And we're at 43 likes. 57 to 100. Let's go. I got ties in some of your guys' areas there. I was born, out in that Hood River, Dalles area, lived there for the first, 4 or 5 years of my life. And then spent a lot of time in that Beaverton, Aloha area until I ended up moving away, temporarily and living with my dad and, going to Canby in that general area and, lived in Canby, Wilsonville area for a little bit. And then obviously I had grandparents that lived in Cornelius near Hillsborough. So for AZ and Billow, I definitely have some ties to, where you guys are from or where you guys are living at the moment. Top of the second inning, 1-0 Padres. First pitch in there to Bogaerts is a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Bogaerts. Well, he's got ties in New York. That's why that he had to go back home. Plus, if we had to choose between Sims or Goldie, Goldie's a billion times better. So, and I know some people don't really like Sims that much. I didn't think he was that bad, but if I had to choose one or the other, I'm definitely going Goldie. Goldie's got a better voice, and, we appreciated what Dave brought, while he was here, whether it was on the radio or on TV, but, just like Goldie has ties in St. Louis. So at some point, he may end up leaving the Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, and going to St. Louis. So, it really depends on where you were born, where you were from, when you went, where you went to school, where you went to college, where you have a relationship with your mom or your dad. There's a lot of factors, and a lot of these guys that announce, typically go back home, at some point in their career. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Xander Bogaerts. Two pitch, high and inside, sinker 98 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Bogaerts. Three-two pitch, little dribbler up the middle. J.P. Crawford is there, sidearm throw to Naylor, and just gets the toe tap on the bag after slipping, and that is 1 away. Next up for George Kirby, lower in the lineup than ever before, 6-hole hitter, center fielder Jackson Merrill. First pitch to Merrill, pops it up a mile. Emerson is there, and there we go. Colt Emerson making his first play for the Seattle Mariners on defense, and we love it. And that is 2 away. Let's go, baby. And again, we've been waiting for Cole and Colt to get the call up, and Cole got called up last June. Colt got called up today here in May. And again, I'm so excited. It just kind of stinks, with the injuries to Brandon Donovan and Cal Raleigh. We really need those 2 players. But again, we have a very bright future with also guys like Cade Anderson in the farm and Lazaro Montes and a few others. And you would assume at some point before the year is over, they'll call Cade as well, and everything will be right in the universe. First pitch is low and away with a sweeper, 88 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, strike right down the middle there from George Kirby. Nice high heater, 1 ball and 1 strike to Ramon Laureano. George Kirby on the mound, Ramon Laureano in the box. 1-1 pitch, in there for another strike to Laureano. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the second inning, 1-0 San Diego. Let's see if Kirby can get the punch out here. 1-2 pitch, fouled off into right field, out of play. Sweeper, 89 miles an hour there by Kirby. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the second inning, 1-0 San Diego with a solo dinger by Sheets, 400 feet into right field. That was in the top of the first, and that's where we sit scoreboard-wise, 1-0 Padres. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Laureano. And sometimes, you want to follow in your, dad's footsteps. And, sometimes it's just, that's where you were born or where you're from, and there's a number of reasons why guys end up going back home. Laureano arguing that last pitch. And that is strike 3. Down he goes. 3 up and 3 down. Good inning there from Kirby. After giving up the home run to Sheets. And now let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see if we can tie this game up or take the lead. Next up for the Mariners in the 4-hole, left fielder Randy Orosarena. Batting second in the 5-hole, right fielder Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. Let's get a nuke. And batting third in the 6-hole, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. And again on the mound, making his 2026 debut, the former Red Sox, now Padre, Lucas Giolito. And I tried to find some Padre photos of him, but nothing that was up to our standard here on the channel. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 35 subs away from 24,100. Let's see where we're at on the likes. All right, we're at 48. $52 to $100, and we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And everything that we end up getting from Friday, Saturday, and today will go towards Paisley's vet visit tomorrow. Again, I just went to the vet for her a couple weeks ago, and it was $450, with a yearly visit as well as some vaccines and other things that they needed to get done. And, I wasn't expecting another vet visit just a few weeks later, and she's never had an ear infection before, and I imagine this will be a couple $100 visit. So, again, anything that can be done, through Cash App, Venmo, or the Super Chat would be greatly appreciated. And shout out to all the people that donated on Friday and Saturday to help soften the blow. I appreciate that very much. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning. Padres up 1-0 with a Gavin Sheets solo dinger. Not JT in the building. What's good? Seattle's biggest rival? It's obviously we have the Astros, Rangers, Athletics, and A's, within the division. So those have to be, the top within the division. And then outside of the division, maybe the Yankees, in the American League. And I don't think we really have a rival in the National League because we don't play those teams as often. So, but I think that, for us, I would say everyone in the AL West, Houston #1 as our rival, with the Rangers, the Athletics, and the A's. And then the first team that I can think of outside of our American League West, I would probably go with the American League East with the Yankees, just because of the history we've had with them in the playoffs, with Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day. But that's probably where I would go. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Giolito to Randy Orosarena. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour there by Lucas Giolito. 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Orosarena. And we're going to need hopefully a meltdown at some point here. 3-1 pitch, little dribbler towards third base and foul. Three-two pitch, little check swing, down goes Randy, and that is 1 away. Yeah, and a lot of the rivalry games, that they have, it won't be for every, matchup, because I don't really necessarily think the Padres and Mariners are really rivals, but, some of the other matchups, obviously, this weekend are rivals, so. First pitch in there, takes a strike looking high and away to Luke Raley, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off there by Luke. Into left field, out of play. Slider, 83 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Oh-2 pitch, little dribbler, and it goes past Fernando Tatis Jr. and a nice single there by Luke Raley. Nice job there by Luke Raley, leading the team with 10 homers and finally get one past Fernando Tatis Jr. there in the infield. Great job. Let's see if we can feed off this Uncle Mo and that momentum. Next up in the 6th hole, second baseman Cole Young. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Young pops up, shallow infield into third base and caught, and that is 2 away. Got to work the count, Cole. Nice catch there by Miguel Andujar. Next up is the Italian Stallion, DHing in the 7th hole, Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. Throw to first, and Rayleigh is safe. Pitches low and at the knees. Four-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away, almost grazing the dirt there. Change up 80 miles an hour there by Giolito. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Yeah, I'm not sure if you share spring training with a team that makes a rival. Maybe to you, but I don't think any Mariner fan overall would say that the Padres are a rival. Padres' rival is like the Dodgers. Like that's more of a rival for them, not the Mariners. Popped up, almost same spot there for Andujar, and he's staying busy here, and that is out number 3. And then if you're going to end up having, some kind of rivalry from a team in the, American League and a team in the National League, it only makes sense if it's like, the Yankees and the Mets, maybe like that, obviously both in New York and, but, everyone, will have ideas on what they think a rivalry is, but, I don't think the Padres are our rival one bit. End of the second inning, 1-0 San Diego. Let's see who's up next as we go to the top of the third and see who's up next here for the Padres. Next up for the Padres in the 8-hole first baseman, the former Seattle Mariner, Ty France. Batting second in the 9-hole, catcher Freddie Fermin. And back at the top of the order, leadoff hitter, second baseman Fernando Tatis Jr. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $35 subs to go to 24,100. Let's take a peek to see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 100. We're at 61. End of the second inning, 1-0 San Diego. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Padres. Global broadcast on NBC and Peacock here today. And the Padres have swept us in San Diego and won the first 2 games here in Seattle. And, we can't afford to get swept, 2 times by the same team already. So hopefully we can find a way. But so far, slim pickings early. First pitch from Kirby, low and away to the former Seattle Mariner first baseman Ty France, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, little slow dribbler to Colt Emerson, throw to first, and there we go. Playing a new position and, making it look easy out there. Nice job there by Colt. And that is 1 away. Next up is Freddie Fermin. First pitch, big swing and a miss to Fermin. Right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away. Sinker, 97 miles an hour there by Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike to Freddie Fermin. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Kirby. 2 balls and 1 strike to Freddie Fermin. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. Sinker, 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning, 1-0 San Diego. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Kirby. And down goes Fermin. Nice job, George. I mean, I don't expect a whole lot of Ks today, somewhere in that 4 to 7 range. The way to bring a little bit of electricity. Hopefully the batters will be able to do their part as well. Next up is Fernando Tatis Jr. 2 up and 2 down. First pitch from Kirby to Tatis, fouls it off, high and inside, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Kirby. No balls and 2 strikes to Fernando Tatis Jr., and he calls time. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Got to find a way. You know, we can't be in a pitcher's duel with a pitcher making their debut. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. Nasty pitch there by Kirby. 3 up and 3 down. And we're going to see Colt Emerson's first at bat, and hopefully he'll have a little bit of Mariner magic. Nice job by George Kirby. And he's sitting at 4 Ks already. 3 innings pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned run. The obviously home run by Sheets. But other than that, he's been good. No walks, 4 Ks, 45 pitches, 28 strikes with a 2.85 ERA. And then on the flip side for Lucas Giolito, the former Red Sox, 2 innings pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 1 K, 24 pitches, 15 strikes. And he's making his debut for the Padres in this game. So, you know, we can't treat someone, you know, that is making their debut as if they are, you know, sitting at a similar record, you know, like Kirby. You know, we got to make sure we rough him up at some point, and hopefully we will. Next up for the Mariners in the 8-hole, catcher Mitch Garver. Batting second in the 9-hole, playing third base, making his MLB debut today. His first at bat incoming, Colt Emerson. Let's go, Colt. And batting third, 0 for 1, leadoff hitter, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. All right, 68 likes, 32 to get to 100. Dan Lanning's job at Oregon is never going to be in jeopardy. You know, he's a guy that could end up being there for 10 or 20 years if he chooses to. And if we are, you know, ever going to win a championship for the Oregon Ducks, Dan Lanning would be the guy. You know, he's obviously done things that Chip Kelly did, but is trying to get to that next level. But as we know, college football is hard. And Castillo, you know, more than likely will be moved into the bullpen. They're going to go with a 6-man rotation for, you know, maybe a week or two, you know, but again, at some point, if it ends up coming down to, you know, Bryce Miller, Emerson Hancock, or Luis Castillo, you know, Luis Castillo is the one that should go into the pen. It should help him, you know, only having to get 3 guys out instead of potentially trying to get, you know, 18 guys out in 6 innings. You know, he's been giving up 4 to 8 runs. So, you know, having less of a role and having to pitch to less guys could benefit not only the fans, but also Luis Castillo himself. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Giolito to Garver. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes to Mitch Garver. Try to ends up. Let's go M's. Got to find a way. Got to prevent the sweep. And we got the White Sox next. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. 4-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike from Giolito to Garver. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there from Garv. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Giolito to Garver. Yeah, and I definitely think the Mariners can still, win the division. And, if we don't, I still think that we can get second place and get a wild card. It kind of feels like it's going to come down to more than likely the Rangers, the Athletics, and the Mariners. So there'll probably be 3 teams battling for 2 spots, but, I like our chances. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking on the corner there, right on the line, and that is 1 away. Down goes Mitch Garver. Next up, making his MLB debut and his very first at-bat in a Seattle Mariner uniform, it is third baseman Colt Emerson. Let's go, Colt. Getting a standing ovation from the fans. He's very, very loved. And again, most Mariner fans are very intelligent and have followed his career in the farm. A little bit of a half swing there, 0-1 count. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Padres with a Gavin Sheets solo dinger in the top of the first to right field, 400 feet. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. And it may take a little time for Colt to get going, just like it did for Cole. It's not like Cole was, electric right away. It took him a little time to kind of get that consistency. And obviously we know the type of player Cole is this year compared to last year, a huge upgrade. And I assume the same thing will happen with Colt. He'll be pretty good. He'll still make some mistakes. He'll still strike out, and then he'll really come into his own next year. 1-2 pitch from Giolito, low and away. Change up 79 miles an hour there by Lucas Giolito. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. Two-two pitch and popped up into right field, and that is 2 away. Down goes Colt. Flies out in his first at-bat. Hopefully he'll be able to get a hit before the game is over. Next up, leadoff hitter, shortstop J.P. Crawford. First pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away with a curveball, 74 miles an hour to J.P. Crawford, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, change up 81 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. One pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour. There by Giolito. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Ooh, 2-1 pitch hits him in the shoulder, and hopefully Crawford is okay. That definitely stung. And JP is a pretty tough guy, but I imagine that 91 mile an hour 4-seam fastball right into the shoulder arm area did not feel good. No, because of his age. Again, obviously we liked what we saw, from Gino, and obviously with Polo, not necessarily in Polo's first year, but, what he was able to do for us, obviously last year. But, you can only afford so many people. And, I think, you have to take in a lot of, things in consideration, how old they are, and looking at their numbers and the money, it is a business. So JP Crawford at first after getting Bean there on the arm. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 San Diego with a runner at first with 2 outs. First pitch to Julio, fouls that one off. Out of play, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch and a little blooper into center field. Jackson Merrill is there, and that is out number 3. End of the third inning, 1-0 Padres. Let's see who's up next here for San Diego. Next up for the Padres, 0 for 1, third baseman in the 2-hole, Miguel Andujar. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a home run. In the top of the first inning, left fielder Gavin Sheets. And batting third, batting fourth, but third here in the order, DHing Manny Machado, 0 for 1 with a K. But going back to, Dan Lanning, Jerry, again, I wouldn't think there's that many guys that are on the Lanning level, as far as being passionate, being a player's coach, being respected, and again, it's not easy to win a championship in college football. I mean, for years and years and years, we know Georgia and obviously Alabama were, doing a lot of illegal recruiting, just like a lot of other colleges were doing, and they had pretty much NFL teams lined up. And then you had Ohio State kind of on, waiting in the wings, with those other teams. And then now with the NIL, there's no loyalty for really coaches and players anymore. You might get a guy that says he's going to be here for 4 years and he might dip after half a season. So, I think that Oregon's got the right coach in place, and, when the time is right, it'll happen. When will it happen? I don't know. But if he ends up staying for another, 10, 15 years, and it's probably safe to say that he'll probably end up winning a minimum of 1, maybe even 2. But it just really depends on who they match up against. And, he's not the guy that's on the field. The players have to get the job done, But again, I wouldn't want anyone else coaching Oregon besides, Dan Lanning. And then as far as Gino, obviously we loved him. It's always good vibes only with him, but I think with his age and whatnot, and obviously his defensive stats at third have been kind of going on a downward spoke. You want to make sure that you have someone that you don't overpay for, even though he's beloved by the fans. And we wish the best for Gino, in Cincinnati, as well as Polo on the Mets. And hopefully they end up doing their thing. And I think the Bucks will have a chance, to make the playoffs. Obviously, they should have last year, but they didn't have a defense. And we got Ruben Bain Jr. And again, Bain the Hurricane was probably the steal of the draft. And again, we haven't really had a player like that in quite some time. So, it should be a battle in the NFC South. But, we'll see how improved the defense is. And, I'm not really worried too much about the offense, but we will see. Little dribbler to JP there from Andujar, and that is 1 away. But also no Mike Evans. He's on the Niners. Levante David retired. So those are 2 key losses. So, we'll see. But I'm hoping that they'll play well. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Padres. And Andujar grounds out to JP. Throw to Josh Naylor at first with the toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Next up is Gavin Sheets, who had the home run in the first inning to give them the early 1-0 lead. First pitch, takes a strike, looking low and away with a sweeper, 86 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and inside, gets away from the catcher there at the last minute, Mitch Carver. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out, top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Padres. Solo home run in the first for Sheets, and he had one a few games ago as well. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees, change up 88 miles an hour there by George Kirby. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out, top of the fourth inning, 1-0 San Diego. Jim in the building. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Gavin Sheets. 3-1 pitch. Inside and Sheets with a walk. Next up for the Padres in the 4-hole, DHing Manny Machado. On deck in the 5-hole, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Yeah, Gilbert, has gone through some ups and downs, and, he's definitely not as good as Wu or Kirby or Hancock this year, but he's, better than Castillo. Now, the real question is, will Gilbert be better than Kirby? Or not Kirby, but Miller? We'll see what Bryce Miller can look like. And, again, we got a plethora of pitchers. Castillo should go to the pen, and, hopefully Gilbert will get better, but there's a chance that he might end up being the worst pitcher out of the starting 5 once Castillo goes to the pen. Double play, and got him! There we go. Beautiful double play. JP, Cole Young, Josh Naylor, bang! Got it done. Great defense there. Nice job. Nice soft throw there to Cole Young, and a nice throw there from Young from second to Naylor, and a great job with the double play. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And we got plenty of guys that can make those plays on defense like J.P. Crawford and Cole Young. Great job. Now it's time to get on the board. We should have scored already. Let's get it going. Next up for the Mariners in the 3-hole, first baseman 0 for 1, Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. Let's go Nails. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K in the 4-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third in the 5-hole, 1 for 1, right fielder Luke Rayleigh. And again, with the pitching staff, we know Kirby has been the best, and then probably Wu second, even though he had those 2 starts, for the Cardinals where he gave up 7, even though he came back and won that game 11-9, and then he gave up 6 against the Royals. But other than those 2, he's been pretty good. We haven't really got a lot of run support for our pitchers this year, especially for Emerson Hancock. He's, lacked a lot of run support like Castillo, but Hancock has been, taking the spot of maybe Logan Gilbert. And then now we got Bryce Miller back. But, once we move, Luis Castillo into the pen, there is a chance that Logan Gilbert could be the worst guy, out of the 5. It could end up being, Kirby 1, Wu 2, Hancock 3, Miller 4, and then Logan Gilbert 5. And I guess it's a good problem to have, to have so many good pitchers and whatnot. And if Logan Gilbert is the 5, that shows how loaded we really are. But, hopefully he'll get better, but still hasn't had a very good season. With Luis Castillo, they've been our 2 worst. We just got Miller back, so we'll see what happens with him. And I think we've been pleasantly surprised with Emerson Hancock, especially. And then obviously we know Brian Wu and George Kirby are normally doing their thing, even though they are human, and once in a while they'll have a meltdown. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and let's see if we can get going here. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $35 subs to go. Do 24,100. Looks like we gained 1 since the commercial break. 34 now. And Naylor grounds out, and that is 1 away. 34 subs to go to 34,000 or 24,100. Well, if you watch this year, Gilbert hasn't been a beast this year. And we just got Miller back for his first start, so I'm not sure if I can call both of them beast, at the moment. But Gilbert has been one of the worst with Castillo, and, we don't really know if Miller is going to be good this year. Hopefully he will be, but he looked good in his first start. 0-1 pitch, high and away. And just because they were good last year or the year before, it's what have you done for me lately? And that's how it is, not only in baseball, but in football and any sport. 1-1 pitch, and Randy pops it up into shallow left field. Ramon Laureano is there, and that is 2 away. Down goes Randy, and that is 2 up and 2 down. Next up, right fielder Luke Rayleigh. First pitch, low and at the knees with a curveball, 75 miles an hour by Giolito, 1-0 count. And for a guy that's making his first start, for the Padres this year, I'm kind of shocked that we haven't put up any runs yet. And popped up in foul territory, and 3 Padres converge, but they can't get it to it in time. Andujar scoops it up. And now we got 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-0 San Diego. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go. We got our best pitcher on the mound. And again, the bats have kind of gotten a little cold against this team in this particular series. And hopefully they'll heat up after the series is over. But we need to win this game. We can't get swept in San Diego and get swept at home by the same team already. 1-1 pitch popped up and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour there by Lucas Giolito, the former Red Sox, now Padre. Rayleigh is 1 for 1 with a single in the second, leading the team with 10 home runs and 27 ribbies, even though he does split a lot of games, either with Connor Joe or Rob Refsnyder. But again, it's the only hit. We have 1 hit, Luke Rayleigh, and that's it. And they have 1 hit, but it was a home run by Sheets. Big swing and a miss, low and away, and Giolito retires Luke Rayleigh, and that is the end of the 4th inning, 1-0 San Diego. $34 subs away from 24,100. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train for the Paisley Pup Vet Fund for tomorrow. And everything that we got on Friday and Saturday will carry over to when I have to take her to the vet, obviously tomorrow on Monday. And we are at 84 likes, 16 to 100. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Next up for the Padres in the top of the 5th. 0 for 1, 5-hole hitter, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Batting second, 0 for 1, center fielder in the 6-hole, Jackson Merrill. And batting third in the 7-hole, right fielder, 0 for 1 with a K, Ramon Laureano. I mean, both pitchers right now are pitching a 1-hitter. It's just, we need the bats to start coming alive. And again, that's kind of been the issue lately. We haven't really been able to consistently get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And, we'll see how that goes. And now they got Leo Rivas in at shortstop for JP. So I'm not sure if JP is injured now, but now we got Rivas coming in. And again, we'll see how this goes. And if they're going to do that, they should just move Rivas to third and then let Colt Emerson play his natural position at shortstop if JP has this issue. I'm not sure if they're going to be allowed to do that or not. And I imagine we'll get an update on JP Crawford if something is wrong with him. But he's out of the game now, and now Leo Rivas comes in and takes his spot. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. So I guess they're stating based on him getting beamed in the arm, that's the reason why he ended up leaving. But it might be something more than that. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike, looking low and away. Sinker, 95 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Xander Bogaerts. I mean, he definitely got plunked hard, by Giolito. It was 91 miles an hour right to the arm. So I imagine it left a big bruise or strawberry there, but, we don't assume any broken bones or anything like that. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 5th inning, 1-0 San Diego. 1-2 pitch, little dribbler towards first base, and foul by Bogaerts. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 5th inning, 1-0 San Diego. Trident's up. Let's go M's. One-two pitch and fouls it off Garver. Hopefully he's okay. Had a lot of deflections, onto the catcher and the ump behind home plate lately for the Mariners. Hopefully he's okay. The last thing that we need is another injury, as that one hits Garver in the foot. I mean, we're already down Cal Raleigh. We're already down Brendan Donovan. Victor Robles is getting some time, with the Tacoma Rainiers, and he should be back with the team sooner than later. But we can't afford for our backup catcher and our starting catcher to get hurt and only to have Johnny Pareda. So kind of makes you wish that we had Harry Ford still on the team. Trident's up. Let's go M's. One-two pitch, low and away. Sweeper, 87 miles an hour there by George Kirby. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Xander Bogaerts. Two-two pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Bogaerts. Yeah, I always liked Harry Ford a lot, and I liked Ben Williamson. He just really couldn't hit that much early on, but he was a great defender, and, sometimes, you can't keep all of your young prospects and whatnot. And Mariners challenge here. Look at that, 0.1. And that ends up turning into a walk here. I mean, that's as close as it's going to be able to get when it's 0.1 inches off. Next up is Jackson Merrill. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. I mean, we definitely needed bullpen help, but again, I'm not sure if, Jose Ferrer, even though his numbers on paper look good as Bogaerts steals second, I'm not really sure, if that was the right move. I think I would rather personally have Harry Ford, and Mitch Garver would have been like, third string, and you don't have to worry about Kisner or Johnny Pareda or anybody else, but they were anticipating Cal not being hurt, and Ford would have more playing time, obviously over there, and we needed bullpen help. So I understand why they did it, but and popped up into left field. Randy hustling there in left and gets it, and that is 1 away. Good hustle there from Randy. Jackson Merrill flies out to left. Next up in the 7-hole, right fielder Ramon Laureano. I would be paying Kirby before I pay any money to Gilbert. If this is kind of the beginning of the end for Logan and he's going to be starting to go on a downward trend, we know Luis Castillo and JP Crawford more than likely won't be on the team next year. So that'll open up, Colt Emerson starting at short, moving forward for the next 5 to 10 years. And so we don't got to worry about that. And then obviously you'll have Kirby, Wu, as well as Miller and, Gilbert and, hopefully Cade Anderson, at some point, in the new 5-hole spot. And again, we'll see kind of how things all develop. But, I'm not really sure. We'll have to kind of monitor, And again, Logan has been pretty damn good, since he's been here. But, every once in a while with certain athletes, sometimes they kind of hit that peak and then they kind of go on a downward trend. And, if you look at like even Luis Castillo's numbers since we got him from the Reds in 2022, he helped us make the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years. But his numbers, from all the stat nerds, going over all the statistics and analytics, his numbers have been kind of going on a downward slope every year after that year. So, and I think Gilbert is better than Castillo, but this year by not very much, and hopefully, he'll get better and whatnot, but we'll see. Pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ramon Laureano. Yeah, and at some point, Ryan Sloan could be a starter. Cade Anderson could be a starter, and again, if they move on from Castillo and Gilbert and it just ends up being, Kirby, Wu, and Hancock and Miller, and then we have one spot for like Cade, and then they start off maybe with Sloan in the pen and whatnot. I mean, the team's going to look a little bit different next year for sure, as well as, the years beyond that. But, we just need to kind of eliminate some of the weak links on this team and hopefully get some better right-handed bats, as well. And we got to get better players in the pen, too. There's no doubt about that. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ramon Laureano. 2-2 pitch and foul behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. Top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Padres. But, I love me some Cade Anderson. I love me some Ryan Sloan. You got Lazaro Montes and a few others, Michael Arroyo, but again, you just never know on the prospects in the farm, if they're going to be on the team, for many, many years, like Cole and Colt, or if we're going to trade them away like Harry Ford and Ben Williamson. So hard hit ball into deep right field, fading foul. Two pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Laureano, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by George Kirby. Five Ks for Kirby. 4.2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 72 pitches, 43 strikes with a 2.77 ERA. Nice job, George. Next up is the former Mariner, Ty France. And Bogart's starting to steal third and safe. Kirby's at 5 Ks. Giolito at 3. And Bogart steals second and steals third. Top of the 5th inning, runner at third, Bogarts with Ty France in the box. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. Nasty sinker there, 98 miles an hour by Kirby. No balls, 2 strikes to Ty France. And France with an RBI into right field. And just like that, 2-0 Padres. Man, brutal, and again, it feels like, when we play the Astros, we can beat them down, 9 times out of 10. And, obviously, it feels good when you can have that against the team. But then the Padres are kind of doing it to us. We had a pretty decent head-to-head last year, but this year it's been all San Diego, and they're on the brink of beating us 6 in a row just this year. Not ideal. We need the offense to get going. Next up in the 9-hole, 0-for-1 with a K, catcher Freddie Fedmin. It's not easy to win when you got 2 of your top guys out in Cal Raleigh and Brendan Donovan. And Colt Emerson comes in as Garver gets bumped by the batter and ends up making the out, and that is out number 3. We got to get to 1 at least. Again, staring at a 0 is not ideal, and hopefully we got 3 batters up next that can get the ball rolling. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 in the 6th hole, second baseman Cole Young. Batting second, 0 for 1 in the 7th hole, DHing Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher Mitch Garver. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. We're still waiting on our first dono on the dono train. The Paisley Pup Vet Fund for tomorrow. Now let's see where we're at on the likes and how close we are to 100. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, down 2-0. Still plenty of time to come back. All right, we're at 92 likes. 8 more to 100. I mean, Williamson is actually doing all right. 39 games, 112 at-bats, 19 runs, 30 hits, 14 RBIs. He's at a 268 average, and there's quite a few Mariner players that aren't batting 268. So, again, if Ben Williamson is on the team right now, that's 1 point less than Luke Raley. So, and it might be even higher if he was on the Mariners. And right now, Harry Ford is in AAA for the Rochester Red Wings. So, and he's batting only 191 with 1 homer and 7 ribbies. So Harry obviously still got quite a ways to go. I hear you, Paisley. Hold on. Lay down. Lay down. First pitch in there to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off with the check swing. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. We need you to bring the electricity. And hopefully Cole and Colt will be able to be a factor here today. 0-2 pitch, low and away, change up. 77 miles an hour there by Lucas Giolito. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 San Diego. All right, Paisley's in here now. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball, but doesn't get past Ty France. Toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Down goes Cole with a dribbler out towards first base. Next up in the 7 hole, DHing the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone. On deck is Mitch Garver. First pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 San Diego. And I'm just kind of shocked that Giolito is pitching this well and the Mariners aren't able to rough him up. I mean, this is his first start, in 2026. Obviously the former Red Sox, had his ups and downs, but I mean, he's pitching like he's, one of the top dogs out there. But we know the Mariners sometimes have an inability to hit. 1-1 pitch, a little dribbler towards third. Machado, throw to Ty France, and that is 2 up and 2 down. I mean, if we're really being honest, Hawks, every time that we play this team, we don't play well. We got absolutely obliterated, in those 3 games in San Diego, but we did do good in one, the game that we were up 6-2, right, with Emerson Hancock on the mound. But remember, when we were up 6-2, Jose Ferrer as well as Andres Munoz gave up 5 in the bottom of the 9th, and we lost that game 7-6. So we actually should have won at least one game in San Diego, and then obviously we've gotten beat up here at home in these first 2 games, losing 2-0 and 7-4. So, at least we put up 4 yesterday, but again, we're sitting at the same score at the moment as we had in game 1, and hopefully we won't end with a 0. We need to find a way to get going, but again, baseball is hard. 2-0 pitch to Mitch Garver, popped up into deep left field, back at the warning track, and Ramon Laureano makes the catch, and that is out number 3. Because we haven't really been able to get, back-to-back hits. We haven't really been able to get a lot of home runs. And on top of that, we haven't really been able to get walked or hit by a pitch and then, move guys over. We haven't been bunting for small ball. There's been a lot of things that we really haven't been able to do against this top 5 team. And again, when we play, teams like the Dodgers or the Padres or the Braves or the Yankees, we already know how difficult it is. Now, we played really well against the Braves after, kind of getting beat up by the White Sox and whatnot. But again, this Padre team, normally it's pretty even, and sometimes we even have their number if you go back to kind of like last year. But this year is kind of a different story where, they've been beating us up and throwing haymakers nonstop. And, we haven't been putting our hands up to block. So end of the 5th inning, 2-0 Padres. I mean, it could be like that Rousey Carano fight from last night that lasted 14 seconds with the armbar from Ronda. So, you never know what to expect in UFC, and you never know what to expect with Mariner baseball. That's facts. All right, let's go to the top of the 6th inning and see who's up next here for the Padres. Next up for the Padres, 0-for-2 with a K, second baseman Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second, 0-for-2, third baseman in the 2-hole, Miguel Andujar. And batting third, 1-for-1 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball. Had a home run, 400 feet into right field in the top of the 1st, Gavin Sheets. So, I mean, we're sitting at a 0, but the Padres only have 2 hits, but they have 2 runs. They got the RBI from France. Bogart scored after stealing second and third. They are, doing everything that they need to do to try to win this game. And then the Sheets home run. And then obviously on the flip side, we only have 1 hit, and that's from Luke Raley. So it's not like Kirby's been bad per se. It's just that the bats have not done their part. And, a lot of times that's the case with Seattle, where, we might end up having the pitchers get the job done, but then the bats kind of disappear, and then maybe the bats get hot, and then the pitchers might end up disappearing. So $32 subs away from 24,100. First pitch to Tatis Jr. fouls it off. Low and at the knees, 95-mile-an-hour sinker, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Popped up into shallow right field. Luke Raley is there, and that is 1 away. I mean, Cole Young's defense has been fantastic. We just had JP and Julio, making a few mistakes, in the first, quarter of the season and whatnot. Bad throws by JP and Julio overrunning 4 or 5 baseballs, bringing in runs home and whatnot. But, there's been other individuals that have, made some plays, specifically Cole Young. He's been the best defensive second baseman in the league. So he saved us at least 10 plus runs already. But, and I think the pitching overall has been, pretty good. I mean, if you look at our pitching staff and our bullpen, pitching staff normally is ranked in the top 10, bullpen in the top 4. But again, when one thing starts going, another thing disappears, so it's like, it's really hard to get good, solid starting pitching, bullpen, and then hitting and defense all in the same game. And again, we've had a lot of injuries as well. No Brandon Donovan, right? No, obviously Cal Raleigh. We don't have our number 1 and our number 3 available, and Brash and Spire. Mooney's been terrible this year. Let's be real. And Castillo's been terrible as well. When you got a starting pitcher with an ERA of 6 and above, and your closer's got an ERA of 6 and above for a good chunk of the season, that's not good, considering that we don't blow teams out usually. Usually the games are close. And the last thing that we need when we're up by a run or we're tied is for the closer to come in to blow the game and to give up a run or two, and then we lose. And that's happened quite a few times this year. So, we've had a lot of adversity, a lot more challenges this year compared to last year. There's no doubt about that. But I still think, since the American League overall is bad, with only 2 or 3 teams above 500, there's still going to be a chance where the Mariners can turn it around. Thankfully, we're not in the National League, where they have about half of their teams above 500. And Andujar with a hard hit ball, hits the wall, goes into Julio's glove off the bounce, and Andujar with the stand-up double. But we'll be buyers, moving forward. But again, we need better right-handed bats, instead of like Ref Snyder and Connor Joe. We need better bullpen pieces. There's no doubt about that as well. And, move Castillo into the pen, and, so that way we can end up having Kirby and Wu and obviously Emerson Hancock and Bryce Miller and Logan Gilbert try to do their thing, and again, it's not like Logan Gilbert really has been good either. So, I mean, it's like, some of the guys, have impressed. Like Emerson Hancock has been better than expected, but then Logan Gilbert has gotten worse. So, it's just one of those years, I guess. First pitch to Gavin Sheets, low and away, sweeper 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. But even with all the, tough challenges so far, we could still end up getting first or second in the AL West and still, win the division or get the wild card. Kind of feels like it's going to be between us, the Rangers, and the Athletics, and there'll probably be 2 spots for 3 teams. Unless the Astros and the Angels can turn their seasons around, but I doubt it. But we will see. 1-1 pitch, back, and gone. Gavin Sheets homers again. This time a 2-run blast, almost identical spot than his home run in the first. And I guess it's just one of those games and just one of those series. 4-0 Padres. Brutal. And again, if we were able to have at least 1 or 2 on the board right now, it would feel like, okay, we have a chance, but just too much Sheets, too much Padres. They swept us in San Diego, and they're about to sweep us here again. Big home run there from Gavin Sheets. And again, how often do you see George Kirby give up home runs, let alone 2 home runs to the same guy? Maybe if it's like Aaron Judge, or Shohei Ohtani, that's one thing, but I don't know. Gavin Sheets is definitely locked in and loaded here against the Mariners. And things always look worse when you're at a 0. Again, if you end up having a 1, at least you feel, okay, we're getting beat up, but at least we're, going in the right direction. But the longer you sit at a 0 and the other team gets RBIs and home runs, it just gets worse and worse, right? First pitch to Manny Machado, takes a strike looking low and away. 0-1 count. And I guess on the bright side, if we're going to be positive, at least we don't have to play the Padres in a 4-game set, early in the year and right now, because otherwise we could be potentially 0-8 against this team instead of 0-6. So got to be able to see the silver lining, and again, thankfully this will be the last game against this fucking top 5 team that's really good. And, hopefully we'll be able to rebound, from this. But again, injuries and lack of hitting and poor play, offensively and defensively has definitely cost us quite a few games this year. And Machado with a hard hit ball into left field, into Randy's area, and that's a nightmare. Hustle, Randy! And Randy just taking his sweet ass time out there, and that's a stand-up double there for Manny Machado. Top of the 6th, runner at second with 1 out, 4-0 San Diego. And normally George isn't going to give up 4 runs. It's pretty rare for him, to look like this. He's been, very, very good for us. But again, just, sometimes this happens. You just get beat up by a top 5 team. Anytime you play the Dodgers, the Padres, the Braves, or the Yankees, you have a chance of getting kind of beaten up. And that's what's happening here. First pitch from Kirby to Bogarts, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike swinging. High and inside, just went around. Sinker at 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Bogaerts. Average game usually lasts about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Every once in a while, you'll get a game, Erica, that will go 3 hours, plus. But, we're only an hour and a half in, and we're 3/4 of the way already done. So this one could end up ending probably around the 2 hour mark or 2 hour and 15 mark. 2-1 pitch. Gets the corner and gets the strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Bogaerts. Two pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Bogaerts. And that is 2 away. Six Ks for George Kirby now. And he's at 94 pitches, so it's not like he's going to be able to go. Now he's at 95, so he's almost done here. But definitely not one of George's better outings, giving up 4. And again, if the game was scored, if it was scored right now 4-2, it wouldn't be as bad. But obviously the bats have not been able to rough up Giolito, which is kind of shocking. First pitch is high and inside to Jackson Merrill, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Sweeper, 87 miles an hour, missing by Kirby. 2 balls and no strikes with a runner at second with 2 outs. Kirby on the mound, Jackson Merrill in the box. .20 pitch from Kirby. And a hard hit ball, deep right field, and hits the wall. And Luke Raley gets it with a strong throw, but not in time. And Manny Machado comes home from second base. Stand-up double there from Jackson Merrill. And there's another run on the board for the Padres. And again, this is not the George Kirby that we normally, have seen this year. But again, we are going against a top 5 team in baseball, and they're showing that no matter who's on the mound for us, they can rough up everyone. Tough outing there for George Kirby. Now Kirby is done, giving up 5 runs, and that is not something that happens often. 5.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 98 pitches, 62 strikes, and now his ERA is up to 3.30. And again, coming into the game, he had a 5-2 record with an ERA of 2.84, but absolutely no run support yet, and makes it tough. When you're giving up home runs and RBIs and the other side of the, offense, isn't doing anything, at least up to this point. Being a Mariner fan isn't easy. Being a fan of any team in Oregon and Washington is not easy. You got to be mentally tough. There's going to be peaks and valleys, ups and downs. It's a long season. And again, sometimes, bad things happen like this, and you just got to be able to keep your head held high and hope for the next series that, things will go a little bit better. And I assume they will. $33 subs away from 24,100. See how close we are to the likes. All right, we're at 108. $92 to $200, and we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And I got a vet visit for my pup tomorrow. So anything that could be done through the Cash App, the YouTube, or the Super Chat would be greatly appreciated. And shout out to all of those individuals that donated on Friday and Saturday against the Padres to help kind of soften the blow. Considering I just went to the vet a few weeks ago and it was like $450, and this one is going to be probably a couple $100. So anything that can be done would be greatly appreciated. 50th year anniversary here for the Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for Rick Riz. He's retiring after the season, and hopefully we can go out with a bang with Rick Riz. We love you and we appreciate you, Riz. We got Cooper Criswell coming into the game now. First pitch to Ramon Laureano. High and away. Sweeper 78 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Pitch fouled off towards third base and out of play. Sweeper 77 miles an hour. Cooper Criswell on the mound and Ramon Laureano in the box. 1-1 pitch. Did he go around? Yes, he did. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ramon Laureano. One-two pitch, high and away. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour, missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cooper Criswell to Ramon Laureano. 2-2 pitch from Criswell, high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ramon Laureano. Three-two pitch, high and away, and that ends up being a 6-pitch walk. Next up for Cooper Criswell is the former first baseman of the Seattle Mariners, Ty France. First pitch takes a strike, looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch goes back to the backstop. Runners advance to second and third with 2 outs. One pitch, high and away. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour, missing. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at second and third with 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Mariners getting beat up by the Padres again, down 5-0. But hopefully we won't end with a 0 and we can have a little bit of fight in us at the end of this game. But pitching and hitting haven't done us any favors here today. And normally that's not the case. George Kirby usually is our best pitcher. At least he has been so far this year. And, we just are playing a top 5 team that is just ruthless against us. They don't let up one bit, and it's a different player usually every game, coming up big. Gavin Sheets has definitely been a thorn in our side, homered in game 1, I believe, and he's got 2 homers today. So it sometimes isn't it, it's not necessarily Manny Machado or Fernando Tatis Jr. every single game. Sometimes it ends up being the others, and they have quite a few others that have stepped up recently. Pitch fouled off there by France, out of play. Count still as 2 balls and 2 strikes from Criswell to France. Two-two pitch, and France gets a single up the middle, and Jackson Merrill and Laureano score. Julio not there in time, and we are just getting obliterated. 7-0 San Diego. And thankfully, we don't play San Diego often because, again, we already got swept in San Diego, even when we were up 6-2 with Hancock on the mound, and we ended up dropping 5 because Munoz and Jose Ferrer blew the game, and we ended up losing that game 7-6, and that was really the only game that we probably should have won against this San Diego Padre team this year. Should have won 1 game out of 3 on the road, and obviously we haven't played up to our standard in these 3 games at home. but obviously hard to win when you don't have Donnie or Cal playing. Those are two key components, even though Cal has been injured and on a slump, but still, not having those guys in the lineup hurts us tremendously. First pitch to Freddie Fermin, fouls that one off. Sinker, 91 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Throw to first, and France is safe. Pitch fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Fermin. O2 pitch, fouled off again. Four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. O2 pitch, high and away. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Freddie Fermin. Pitch fouled off again. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Freddie Fermin. Criswell steps off the mound. Top of the 6th inning, runner at first with 2 outs. 7-0 San Diego. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Freddie Fermin, but it's tough enough when you have a 0, but then when you have a bad outing by George Kirby and a bad outing, from Cooper Criswell, kind of hard to be able to come back when everything is going against us here. I mean, the bright side, we ended up calling up Colt Emerson, but on the bad side, Brendan Donovan goes to the IL. So, again, it's nice to be able to get, someone that we've been waiting to get the call up, but not ideal having all of these injuries. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and let's see if we can make the most of this horrific day against the Padres. Next up, in his second at-bat in his professional career, first at-bat, he flied out to right. 0 for 1, third baseman, stud Colt Emerson. And depending on with JP's injury, maybe we'll get Colt at shortstop the next game. We'll see. And obviously batting second would have been JP, but he got beamed on the arm. So we have Leo Rivas filling in as leadoff hitter. And batting third, 0 for 2, center fielder, it is Julio Rodriguez. Go, Julio. We need you. $33 subs to go to 24,100. Bottom of the 6th, 7-0 Padres. We're at 114 likes. One-0 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes from Giolito to Emerson. Two-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes from Giolito to Colt Emerson. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to Colt Emerson. Three-one pitch. High and away, and Colt ends up getting a walk in his second at-bat. Here we go. I mean, if we're going to get beat up, let's at least try to get as close to 5 as possible. If we're not going to win the game, we got to find a way, And again, if we can get a meltdown by a pitcher or two after Giolito, I'm just shocked that he's been this good. I mean, it's his first start. Like, how in the hell is he pitching this well, against the Mariners? But, I guess it is what it is. Emerson ends up forcing the walk. Next up is Leo Rivas, and Rivas gets a base knock into right field, but it ends up being just foul. And if it wasn't, maybe we end up having runners at first and third there. Emerson's got some good speed. Let's go, Leo. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. Got to dig ourselves out of this massive hole. And if we're not going to win, let's just try to do the best that we can here the last 3 innings. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Giolito to Leo Rivas. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-0 Padres. Lack of hitting is an understatement with only 1 hit. And Kirby and Cooper Criswell were terrible today. And it's hard to win, when you have a starting pitcher that normally is great in Kirby kind of shitting the bed today. And then having Cooper Criswell come in and having him shit the bed. And then having everyone shit the bed as a hitter, except for Luke Raley. Tough. Luckily, we don't have too many games like this. And we only got 4 or 5 shutouts. And normally when we get shut out, it's usually like, 1-0 or 2-0, something of that nature. Not typically 7-0. So I think that we won't end at a 0. We'll get to a minimum of 1, but hopefully it's more than that. 1-2 pitch from Giolito, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Two-two pitch, fouled off, out of play, behind the plate. Four-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour by Lucas Giolito, who's been on fire today and getting great run support behind him as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Good at bat here for Leo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. We're down by 1 billion. 7-0 lead here. And we just have to try to chip away. And 3-2 pitch, low and into the dirt. And this is the first time that we've seen Giolito with a little bit of a meltdown. A walk to Colt Emerson and a walk for Rivas. Now, if Julio can hit a home run right here and make it 7-3, we're back in business. But again, what are the chances of that happening? And Giolito might be done here. And 5 innings pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, 71 pitches, 40 strikes, ERA of 0. And this is his first start. So, he's only given up a 1-hitter. Yeah, he's got back-to-back walks. they have 7 runs and 7 hits. So it's been a complete, domination, ass kicking from beginning to end. But, we just have to hope that we can get a little bit, here before this game ends and rough up Giolito a little bit here. We got Julio Rodriguez in the box. Giolito on the mound has only given up 1 hit, but he has given up back-to-back walks, so he's got a little bit of a mini meltdown, but his pitch count is so low he could continue to pitch after this inning. They do have Matsui warming up there in the pen. Yuki Matsui, the lefty, for the Padres. And if we can just get a meltdown, on this pitch from Giolito, and then get a meltdown, by Matsui, you can crawl back into a game. You may not win, but, I still want to see if we can get as close to 5 as possible, which would be a big ask. It goes Julio and then Naylor and then Randy. So we got a pitch violation there on the first pitch there from Giolito. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Lucas Giolito, who's been very clean today. Only given up 1 hit to Luke Raley, but back-to-back walks here to Emerson and Rivas. A little bit of a mini meltdown here by Giolito. 2-1 pitch, low and away. Having a real hard time hitting the strike zone now for whatever reason. I'm not complaining though. 3 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Bottom of the 6th, 7-0 Padres, but with a good couple swings by Julio, Naylor, and Randy, it could end up being 7-2, 7-3, 7-4 in a heartbeat. 3-1 pitch. Gets the bottom of the strike zone there. 4-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour by Giolito. First time he's hit the strike zone in a few batters. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. 3-2 pitch from Giolito, and Julio pops it up and out of play. Slider 82 miles an hour by Lucas Giolito. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, Emerson at second, Rivas at first. Back-to-back walks for Giolito. Only given up 1 hit today, Luke Raley. And again, we just got to find a way to rough him up here. I mean, if we were able to get 3-4 runs in this inning, it definitely would give us a decent chance, but we also don't know how many more we're going to give up with our bullpen. 3-2 pitch, and Julio gets a hold of that one towards third base and foul. Change up 78 miles an hour there by Lucas Giolito. And I'm just absolutely bamboozled that Giolito is playing in his first game in 2026 and he's doing this well. And I get it. Sometimes the Mariner bats are going to be bad, but, I just didn't think that they would be this bad against a pitcher playing his first game of the year. And pitches high and inside and 3 straight walks. And now we got Colt Emerson at third, Leo Rivas at second, Julio at first. And it seems like we're going to start to have a little rally here. Better late than never, right? Challenge is lost by the Padres by 2.2 inches, so it wasn't even close. And now let's see if we can get 2 of our, hotter hitters as of late, Josh Naylor, Randy Arozarena, and then Luke Raley. If we can get these 3 guys to do some damage, and let's see if they end up pulling Giolito here. And it looks like they're going to pull him. And Giolito is done, and I know he's pissed because, again, he had a 1-hitter, but he ended up walking 3 guys in a row, right? So luckily the Padres are up 7-0, because imagine if they were only up 4-0, and with this situation right here, we could come back in this inning. It's just unfortunate that Sheets, did so much against us in this game, and we're down fucking 7. If we were just down 3, 4, or 5, it'd be a little bit more attainable, to come back and, we've had a few rallies, especially in that, Cardinal game. If you remember, we were down 7-0 in that game and we came back and won 11-9. I'm not saying that's going to happen today, and that was with Brian Wu on the mound kind of shitting the bed. But again, we got 3, solid hitters, and Naylor, Randy, and Raley. But the thing is, they're going to be bringing in Yuki Matsui, a lefty. So hopefully Dan Wilson and Manny Acta and Edgar and everyone, don't flip, Luke for like Rob Refsnyder or Connor Joe. We need to see Luke Raley continue to hit, but again, who knows if that'll happen or not. See if I can get a better photo than this one. That one's a little blurry for my standard. All right, lefty, Yuki Matsui's coming in. First pitch. Big swing and a miss on a slider way off the plate. Come on, Josh. You got to be more patient. There's no way in hell you should have swung at that. That was like 5 feet off the plate. 0-1 count. Slider, 85 miles an hour. A mile away from being a strike. Come on, Josh. Be patient here. Oh, 1 pitch from Matsui. Low and away. Good patience there by Naylor. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour missing. 1 ball and 1 strike with bases loaded and no outs. Bottom of the 6th, we're down 7, but in a matter of a few batters, we could be, down only a couple runs. Let's see if we can get on a nice rally here. 1-1 pitch for Matsui. Low and away. He can't hit the strike zone either. And again, if he just wouldn't have swung at that fucking bad first pitch, it'd be 3-0 right now. 2 balls and 1 strike, and we might not even have to swing. We might just be able to bring that runner home from third without even swinging the bat here. I mean, all 3 pitches are way, way off the plate. Lowest average with runners in scoring position. Mariners are dead last to 216 with the White Sox. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. That one finally in the strike zone. Slider right down the middle, 85 miles an hour. Naylor missing that one with a big whiff. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and no outs. Let's see if we can get 3 or 4 runs this inning. Come on now. Come on, Naylor. We got Randy on deck, and then after that, hopefully they'll keep Luke Raley in, even though it is a lefty pitcher. But knowing Dan Wilson, he'll probably bring in, Refsnyder or Connor Joe. Two-two pitch from Yuki Matsui to Josh Naylor. Low and away. Splitter, 82 miles an hour. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And if you're just looking at the percentages, he's thrown 4 pitches way off the plate and 1 down the middle that Naylor missed. So if Naylor can just have some patience, more than likely this will be a walk. But 3-2 pitch. Low and at the knees, and Colt Emerson ends up scoring his first run for the Seattle Mariners. And again, we're not the only team with a meltdown with pitchers. Apparently, San Diego is going to have a meltdown as well. Here we go. And it kind of shows, no matter, how bad, we're down, I don't know if it's just a little bit of luck or what it is, but it seems like, we may not win games all the time with big comebacks, but first pitch to Randy Arozarena, pops it up, deep right field. And Jackson Merrill ends up coming in and making that play. And how many runs score? We get at least 1 there. Sac fly, Rivas scores, and Julio gets to third. Here we go. So now we are at 7-2. with 1 out and we got runners on the corners. If we can get to 4, and make it 7-4 with 3 innings to go. Now, we don't really know, how many more runs we're going to give up with our bullpen, but that would really put us in a great position if we're down 7-4 or 7-5 with 3 innings to go. Great heart and hustle here by the Mariners. And now we have Refsnyder coming in for Luke Raley. I think I would rather have Luke Raley batting right now, but, it's like how, it's one thing if you want to substitute Dominic Canzone, but I think for me, Luke Raley is proven that he's been one of the best players on the Mariners this year. I don't think that we should be splitting him at all. I think he should be starting. I don't give a shit if it's a lefty or a righty, if they're good or they're bad or they're mid or they're average. I think he's earned the right that, he should be able to, swing against a lefty or a righty. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not like they would be doing this to Ichiro or some of these other players, I mean, they don't do it to Brendan Donovan. They don't do it to, JP Crawford and a few of these other guys. And I get it if you want to do it for Dom, but again, I think Dom and Luke have earned the right to play every day. And if not, you're not going to do both, then it has to be Luke Raley. But let's see if Rob Refsnyder can come up with a little Mariner magic and a little Soto mojo. First pitch, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. And runner goes and steals a bag and safe. Naylor in with no throw to second. Now we have runners at second and third with 1 out. I mean, hopefully, Dan will finally learn, whether it's Manny Acta or Edgar or if it comes up from above in management, but 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball by Refsnyder, deep right field and caught. Strong throw back into the infield and Julio scores from third and Naylor gets in to third base safe. So at least we're at 3 runs now. It's a lot better, and again, if it just was like 5-3, right now instead of 7-3, I think our chances of winning would be highly increased. But again, it shows you if you can get a meltdown, by a single pitcher or 2 pitchers, you can really climb back into a game that looks like it's definitively over. When you're down 7-0, everyone starts feeling, sorry for themselves and, oh, this fucking team and, blaming this and blaming that. And sometimes you just got to wait for the other team to fuck up and then you can take advantage. Next up is Cole Young. Let's see if we can get one more run. We can get an RBI single by Young and get Naylor from third home. That puts us in probably the best position you could have asked for without hitting a home run. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And I'm proud of this team. It's like even when we fuck up, more times than not, we rally. We may not come back and win with the rally, but we usually don't just roll over and die, which is nice. We definitely have the talent to come back. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. Sweeper missing. 81 miles an hour there by Yuki Matsui. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. 1 more single. Come on, sports gods. I mean, best case scenario, Cole Young rips one and gets a 2-run blast. Then it really puts us in a position to win if he hits a home run here, making it 7-5. But again, I don't know if that will happen here. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Matsui to Young. I think it's probably more likely for him to hit a RBI single, into right field rather than a home run. But you never know. It's baseball, right? 1 ball and 2 strikes with Naylor at third with 2 outs. Let's see if the sports gods are shining on us a little bit more. 1 more RBI, please. 1-2 pitch. Tries to jam Young, and he fouls it back behind the plate and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour there by Yuki Matsui. Obviously the front office, definitely has issues. Normally we wouldn't really, put a whole lot of effort on upgrading this team, but they've done a pretty good job the last couple years. Pitches low and away, sweeper 80 miles an hour, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Matsui to Young, but in recent memory, we would only, do so much, when we would normally be at that quote unquote 54%, with our win percentage and, not really doing enough where we needed to be, but 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Cole. Naylor stranded at third. But again, at least we put up 3 runs. I mean, that's better than being down 7-0. So great inning there for the Mariners. And let's see if the bullpen can step up and, not give up a few more runs since they're already at 7, and see if we can keep continuing this comeback. But we definitely need some better right-handed bats. We need better bullpen, and again, for us, it's just been injuries and kind of poor play. Those are really the key things that have really hurt us this year. End of the 6th inning, 7-3 San Diego. Much better than being down 7-0. Next up for the Padres in the top of the 7th, 0 for 3 with a K, second baseman Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second, third baseman, 1 for 3 with a run, Miguel Andujar. And batting third, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs and 3 ribbies. The reason why we're losing this game as much as we are, Gavin Sheets. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 33 subs away from 24,100. All right, we're at 117 likes, 83 to 200, and we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And again, shout out to all the people that donated on Friday and Saturday for my pup. I got to take her to the vet tomorrow, and anything that we can get through the Cash App, the Venmo, or the Super Chat would be greatly appreciated, considering I just spent $450 to take her to the vet a few weeks ago, and now she's got an ear infection for the very first time, and again, I imagine it's going to cost a couple hundred as well. Top of the 7th inning, 7-3 San Diego. Nice inning there for the Mariners, where we had Naylor walked, Emerson scored from third with bases loaded, then Orosarina with a sac fly to center, Rivas scoring from third, and then Rev Snyder sac fly, Julio scoring from third, and just like that, we go from 7-0 to 7-3. And we're going to bring in Alex Hoppy. Hopefully he won't be as bad as Cooper Criswell or Kirby today. All right, let's go, Hoppy. We've been buyers at the trade deadline the last couple of years. First pitch from Hoppy, slow dribbler, Colt Emerson, throw to first, and safe, just not in time. Tatis ends up running that one out. Tough play there for Colt Emerson. But again, I feel like the front office, overall in the last couple of years has, done a pretty good job. But prior, to the last couple of years, they were terrible. And I think every Mariner fan, if you pay attention to this team closely, they normally wouldn't really spend a whole lot of money. They were very cheap, and then they'd have all these other partnerships with like Nintendo and everything else. And it just kind of felt like, prior to us making the playoffs, last year, it was just kind of like they were satisfied with just profiting, off the fans with beer and jerseys and foam fingers and hot dogs and things like that. But anytime you can end up actually making the playoffs and going on a run, then it kind of changes the outlook of the front office and management. And, I think they've done a much better job the last couple years, and hopefully that'll continue. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hoppy to Andujar. But again, we didn't have to go through our number 1 and our number 3 bullpen guys injured in Brash and Spire. We didn't have to go through a shitty Munoz and a shitty Castillo last year. And we didn't have to deal with Brendan Donovan, which is essentially like Jorge Polanco, being injured a lot, on top of Cal Raleigh being injured, who wasn't injured at all last year. So, if you really are looking at this team, there's a number of reasons, why we're struggling. We have a lot of AAA players in the pen, which is not ideal. When you have to have guys like Leo Rivas play, who is a AAA player, not ideal. And again, I love Colt and Cole, so I'm glad that they're being able to play together now. But there's just a lot of things that have gone sideways for us this season. And with all that being said, we're still in the mix to be one of the better teams in the American League. Remember, it's the Rays and the Yankees and the Guardians and then the Athletics, and then everyone else is at 500 or a couple games below 500 or really bad, like the Astros and a few others. So, it could be worse. Garver, throw to second, and not in time. And Tatis is safe. TJ in the building, what's good? Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Top of the 7th inning, 7-3 Padres. Runner at second with no outs. Come on, Hoppy. Two Super Bowls. And if they would have handed off to Marshawn Lynch, they would have had 3 Super Bowls. More than likely. Pitch fouled off there by Enduar. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. Pitch fouled off there behind the plate. Slider 86 miles an hour by Alex Hoppy. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. Top of the 7th inning, 7-3 Padres. But, again, the Sonics will be back pretty soon. The Kraken are getting a little bit better. The Blazers should be a little bit more competitive with Dame next year. And we'll have that I-5 rivalry back with the Blazers and the Sonics, including the Lakers as well. So, again, it's... just you got to be able to be patient, if you root for teams. And then college football with the Ducks and the Huskies and the Cougars and the Beavers, it's not always going to be a peaches and cream, for the teams that we root for in Oregon and Washington. You got to be really mentally tough, and a lot of times it takes 4, 5, 6 years to build up a team to be good enough to be championship worthy. And then once you build up the team, they may not be able to win it all unless you're like the Seahawks, right? But, we've seen obviously the Huskies and the Ducks, go pretty far within the last few years, but not being able to be the ultimate champion at the end of the day. And, we'll see as, things progress, if things can get better for some of these teams in Oregon and Washington. 3-2 pitch popped up and in right field, out of play. Long at bat here for Miguel Andujar. Yeah, I definitely miss the Pac-10, Pac-12. I wish that, it was all about money and greed. And I wish that, we still had that. I would rather be in the, Pac-10, Pac-12 rather than in the Big Ten. But again, it's all about greed and money. Little dribbler up the middle, throw to first, and that is 1 away. We had 60 donated on Friday and then 107 yesterday. We're at 0 so far here, and hopefully we can get at least a few people to show some love for my pup, so that way it'll soften the blow when I end up going to the vet tomorrow, and when I get the bill, I'm not pulling out my hair. Top of the 7th inning, 7-3 Padres. Next up is Gavin Sheets, and first pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. 2 for 2 with 2 home runs, a walk, and 3 RBIs. You couldn't have asked for a better game for Gavin Sheets here. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball, and another big hit from Sheets. And that ends up going down all the way to the right field wall, and Tatis easily scores from second. And Sheets is just ripping the Mariners apart, and now it's 8-3 San Diego. I don't know what Gavin Sheets ate for breakfast, but, the amount of Wheaties that he ate was an enormous amount, because he has been locked and loaded against the Mariners today. 2 home runs and another big RBI. Next up is Manny Machado after Sheets got that RBI double. Little dribbler up the middle. Hoppy, underhand throw to first, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 5-hole, shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Top of the 7th inning, runner at third with 2 outs. First pitch there from Hoppy to Bogaerts. In there for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh for 2 with a walk in the 5th, a run and 2 stolen bags by Bogaerts. 0-1 pitch from Hoppy. Big swing and a miss. Nice sinker there, 98 miles an hour right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at third and 2 outs. Top of the 7th, 8-3 San Diego. I mean, at least we're not down 8-0. 0-2 pitch. Low and into the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hoppy to Bogaerts. Hoppy on the mound. Bogaerts in the box. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-2 pitch, low and away, and Garver is going to challenge. Let's see if we can finally get a challenge to go our way. And that is strike 3. There we go. And that is out number 3. Good challenge there by Mitch Garver. And that is the end of the Padres in the top of the 7th inning. And let's see if we can get another meltdown by the Padres pitchers here to see if we can score a few more runs. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 in the 7-hole, DHing the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher in the 8-hole, Mitch Garver. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, making his MLB debut today, third baseman in the 9-hole, Colt Emerson. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. $33 subs to go. Do 24,100. See where we're at on the likes as we go to the bottom of the 7th. All right, we're at 123 likes, 77 to get to 200. Appreciate that, Dawn. Dawn's going to help us out. And again, thank you so much. Paisley Pup, Little Rally. And again, anyone that ends up having a soul dog or a soul cat, you understand. And again, it's not cheap going to the vet, and especially when you got to go to the vet twice in a matter of a month or so. And appreciate it very, very much. Dawn coming up big with a big $20 holla, 80 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you very, very much. See if we can get anybody else to hop on the Paisley Pup Dono train. Thank you so much, Dawn. And let's see if we can get something going here with Dominic Canzone. I mean, we are so overdue for home runs with like everyone. Just the way that things have gone in this particular series. And we are the most home run dependent team in baseball. There's just no, shadow of a doubt, and it's like normally when we hit home runs, we need like 2 or 3 or 4, not just necessarily just 1. And, and we're not very good with runners in scoring position. They, showed the stat. Obviously, we're dead last with the White Sox. And again, we need to be able to find ways, to be able to get, guys knocked in. And it's not like we're striking out 15, 20 times a game like we used to, prior to us making the playoffs, in 2022 with Cal Raleigh hitting that homer off the A's, So again, it's not like we're that team anymore where we might have our pitchers do great,
but we can't score any runs. And, we usually put up 0 to 2 runs every game and strike out 15 to 20 times, even when our pitchers, every single one of them could get 10 Ks, but it doesn't lead to a victory at the end of the day, So again, if you look at where we were at a few years ago and where we're at now, we're in a much better place. But definitely this has been one of the more challenging seasons we've ever had, especially with the talent level that we have on this team. It's one of the most talented teams, we've ever had, going back to last year to this year. Just injuries and poor play have really dismantled this team. First pitch from Yuki Matsui. He's still out there for the Padres to Dominic Canzone. High and inside, 1-0 count. But again, when you're a fan of a team, you don't give up. You're going to go through the peaks and the valleys and the ups and the downs. And, I've been a fan of this team since 85. And, if I can go through 20 years of watching this team play every game, beginning to end, and know that we have no chance of making the playoffs and I still love them, that really says a lot about not only myself, but a lot of the Mariner fans that are in the room. It's not always going to be easy, but again, when things get good, it's going to be, something that you'll never forget. Even though if those moments might be far and few between. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike high and away. But I would rather be loyal to one team and go through the ups and the downs and be a bandwagon fan any day of the week. And then you just get numb to wins. They don't mean anything. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. Four-seam fastball. 91 miles an hour there by Yuki Matsui. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees, and they're going to call that strike 3. And Dom is challenging. I don't know if he's going to win this challenge. I think he's going to lose it. Oh, it is a ball. Good challenge there by Dom. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 3-2 pitch from Matsui. Low and at the knees, and that's another walk. Next up is Mitch Garver. First pitch from Yuki Matsui to Mitch Garver. Slider low and at the knees. Right on the corner, 87 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Garver 0 for 2 so far here today with a K. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Splitter, 83 miles an hour, missing there by Garver. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, 8-3, San Diego. Oh, 2 pitch to Garv. Big swing and a miss. Come on, Garv. You got to be better than that. Next up for the Mariners, making his MLB debut today, third baseman in the 9-hole, Colt Emerson. 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball. See if Colt can get his first hit in his career here. Let's go, Colt. First pitch right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 count. It's crazy. We have 3 runs, but we only have 1 hit today. Luke Raley. 0-1 pitch. Little dribbler towards third base and foul. One of those rare moments where you actually have more runs than hits in a game. Wild. Come on, Colt. No balls and 2 strikes from Yuki Matsui, the lefty, to Colt Emerson. O2 pitch, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Sweeper, 81 miles an hour there by Matsui. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. One-two pitch, high and inside. Good eye and patience by Emerson. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 8-3 Padres. Two-two pitch for Matsui. Emerson crushes one. Oh, into deep right field, but caught. Man, I thought that was going to be gone. He had a really good follow-through swing there, but no wind to blow that one out. And Emerson flies out to right, and that is 2 away. I mean, the initial swing looked like, oh, man, that's gone, but no wind to help him out. Next up is Leo Rivas. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, only 1 hit so far. We have more runs than hits, believe it or not. One-0 pitch. Takes a strike inside at the line, and Leo is challenging. Or maybe somebody's challenging here. Mariners challenge. Call confirmed. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. You know, and just like Cole Young, you know, when we first brought him up last year in June, you know, he's going to have, some peaks and valleys. He'll have some good moments and some bad moments and some learning moments, but again, when we go into next year, obviously you assume Colt will look just like Cole, not only offensively, but defensively. But hopefully we get flashes of that here this season. And Rivas pops up into left field. Ramon Laureano is there, and that is out number 3. End of the 7th inning, 8-3 San Diego. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Padres as we go to the top of the 8th. Next up in the 6th hole, center fielder, 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI, Jackson Merrill. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run, a base on ball, and 2 Ks, right fielder Ramon Laureano. And batting third, 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, believe it or not, 8-hole hitter, the former Seattle Mariner first baseman, Ty France. Trident's up, let's go M's. $33 subs away from 24,100. We're at 20 on the dono train for the Paisley Pup Vet Fund, where I'm going to be taking her tomorrow to deal with this ear infection, and she'll have to wear a cone, I assume, for a week or 2, but it'll be worth it to get her healed up. And we're at 127 likes. 73 to 200. Shout out to Don getting the rally started. My pup really does appreciate that, as well as myself. Appreciate you. Trident sub. Let's go M's. Top of the 8th inning. 8-3 Padres. Sheets homer to right in the top of the 1st inning. 1-0 San Diego. France singles to right. Bogart scores from third. 2-0 Padres. Sheets homers to right again with Andujar on board. 4-0. Merrill doubles to right. Machado scores, making it 5-0. And then France singles to center. Merrill scoring with Laureano, making it 7-0. Then we finally got a meltdown where Naylor got walked. Emerson scored with bases loaded, making it 7-1. Orosarina with a sac fly to center, making it 7-2. Ref Snyder with a sac fly to right. Rodriguez scoring, making it 7-3. And then Sheets got another double to right, making it 8-3. So definitely not what we expected out of Kirby and Criswell so far, but we'll see what we get here out of Hoppy. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away with the 4-seam fastball there by Alex Hoppy. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Merrill. 1-1 pitch, little dribbler over Hoppy's head. Throw to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Seattle is the hardest ballpark to hit at, and so definitely doesn't make it easy for us. First pitch fouled off there by Laureano, out of play. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, popped up into right field, fading, out of play again. No balls and 2 strikes from Hoppy to Laureano. Top of the 8th inning, 8-3 San Diego. Yeah, really tough. Again, it's like it's one thing, to be able to have a rough day hitting, but then to have our best pitcher, in our starting rotation, George Kirby, shit the bed today. It was definitely the Gavin Sheets game today, and Sheets went off with 2 big home runs and an RBI and has been electric against us. And, luckily we're not sitting at an 8-0 score right now. Oh-2 pitch is high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ramon Laureano. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Slider 89 miles an hour, missing there by Hoppy. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ramon Laureano. But luckily, it's not a 4-game series. It's only 3. We got swept 3 times in San Diego, and we're about to get swept 3 times here in Seattle, unless we end up having like one of the most epic comebacks ever. Emerson, throw to Naylor, and that is 2 away. Next up is Ty France. Ty's had a great game today, 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, the former Mariner first baseman. All right, looks like Hoppy is done. All right, Domingo Gonzalez is coming in. And it shows you like how many of these like AAA guys that we have playing, Gabe Spire, our number 3 is out. Matt Brash, our number 1 is out. Pizzardo hasn't pitched well, since he's had to kind of take over the top dog role. Mooney has been bad this year. Castillo's been terrible. Gilbert hasn't been good. And we've definitely seen, up and down outings out of Hancock, Wu, and Kirby this year, even though those 3 have been the most consistent. And thankfully, we got Bryce Miller back, and he looked good in his first start. But, just being able to put together a full complement of a game of, great pitching, great bullpen, great hitting, and great defense. A lot of times we fall short in a couple categories, unfortunately. 50th anniversary here for the Seattle Mariners. 40 plus years on the radio for Rick Rizzs. He's retiring this year. One of the legends of the game, an icon through and through. And hopefully we can end up having a satisfying, successful season, especially after the All-Star break. Trident's up. Let's go M's. $33 subs to go to 24,100. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go for the Paisley Pup Bet Fund for tomorrow. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We're at 127 still, 73 to go to 200. First pitch from Domingo Gonzalez to Ty France. Fouls it off towards third base. Out of play. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gonzalez to France. 1-2 pitch, fouled off behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, 8-3 San Diego. And honestly, AZ, and I think you would probably agree, we are mediocre. We are, average to below average. But based on how we played this year, realistically, our record should be a hell of a lot worse than it is. We've gotten kind of lucky on a few comebacks, and, we should probably be quite a bit worse record-wise with all the injuries and the bad play that we've had from a number of positions, starting pitching and the bullpen, hitters not doing their job. And then guys that normally that we trust on defense like Julio and JP have not really been great this year. Obviously Julio has been a little bit better than JP, but even Julio has overran 4 or 5 balls that have cost us a few games. And JP has made some, very sidearm, wild throws to Naylor that have cost us as well. Even though we saw Julio rob a home run yesterday, which is great, but, we can't, kind of skip the fact that, he definitely isn't as good as he normally is, at least, with this first, 48 game stretch in 2026. And then a little single up the middle there for France, and he continues to show his dominance against his former team. Next up, 0 for 3 is Freddie Fermin. Yeah, I'm not giving up either, and again, I never will. Again, if I can watch this team for 20 years in a row, knowing I have no hope to make the playoffs and I can still enjoy it, obviously I would love for our record to be, flipped and be 25 and 22 or better instead of 22 and 25. But, there's a number of reasons why things haven't really gone our way. Pitch fouled off, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Freddie Fermin. But there's still plenty of time to turn it around. I mean, you got the Rays and the Yankees and then everyone else. So, we can be right there, with the Guardians and the Athletics, as like that next tier, after the top tier of the Yankees and the Rays. So. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Freddie Fermin. 1-2 pitch, popped up. And fading out of play into about the 5th row. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour there by Domingo Gonzalez. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first with 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, 8-3 San Diego. And no matter, what happens, I'm always going to be, rooting for this team. And it'll never change, And anytime you end up having an L, there's always another game to prove yourself and try to be able to get that W. So. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Fermin. 2-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. There we go. Nice job there by Domingo Gonzalez. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And let's see if we can try to get to 5. I mean, if we're not going to be able to win the game overall, trying to get at least a run in the 8th and a run in the 9th to get to 5 would be great. Hopefully that momentum will carry over until obviously the next game and the next series. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. We could really use a home run here, J-Rod. Batting second, 0 for 2 with an RBI and a base on ball, first baseman Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with an RBI and a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And crazy to think that we got 3 runs, but we only have 1 hit today, you know. And again, we're lucky that we're at 3. Could easily be 8-0 right now. All right, Bradley Rodriguez is coming in. I'm not sure if I've seen anyone with the spelling like that. Bradgley. I mean, obviously we normally hear Bradley, Bradley, but I don't think I've ever seen a Bradley. But here we go. First pitch from Bradley Rodriguez to Julio Rodriguez. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, little slow dribbler by Julio, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Down goes Julio on that slow dribbler, 1 away. Next up, first baseman in the 3-hole, Josh Naylor. On deck is Randy Arozarena. First pitch to Naylor, popped up and flies out to left, and that is 2 away. Come on, guys. Work the count a little bit. Next up in the 4-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Catch there from Gavin Sheets. Bottom of the 8th with nobody on and 2 outs. 8-3 San Diego lead. First pitch from Rodriguez to Arozarena. Takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Rodriguez. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. And this might be the first time that we've had a game where we have more runs than hits. I don't think that we've seen a game like this all year. 1-1 pitch, fouled off. Out of play, change up 88 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, 8-3 San Diego. Yeah, plus also expectations, maybe a little too high after being one of the last 3 teams left, with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers last year. Everyone just assuming that we were going to be better and we're going to, go to the World Series and win this year. And, it definitely shows like how hard, things are, to be able to be consistent in baseball. And Andujar with a little error there as that little dribbler from Randy gets past him. And nice single there for Randy for our second hit of the game. The Padres haven't really had a whole lot of mistakes, but that was one of them. Next up is Rob Refsnyder. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away, sinker 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes from Bradley Rodriguez to Rob Refsnyder. Come on, Rob. Throw to first. And wild throw, and Randy will end up getting to second. And there we go. Girl. Two-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Rob Refsnyder. 2-1 pitch, fouled off out of play. Sinker right down the middle, 98 miles an hour there by Bradley Rodriguez. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second, Randy Arozarena with 2 outs. Come on, Rob. Two-two pitch, and Refsnyder grounds out at third. Throw to first. What a throw by Machado. Ridiculous. And that is out number 3. End of the 8th inning, 8-3 Padres. Well, considering, how bad the American League is, even though that we feel like this season has been kind of a mini failure to start off, but everyone's doing bad except for the Yankees and the Rays. So, obviously you've got a couple teams like the Guardians and the A's that are normally like a game or 2 above 500, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're doing great like the Yankees and the Rays. And then obviously if you're the Padres, you're the Dodgers, you're the Braves, and everyone in the National League Central, you're feeling really good about yourself because all those teams are above 500. But, we just got to be able to take it one game at a time. But we definitely have a young core. And again, hopefully next year, we won't have as many injuries to start off, and we can kind of, weed out some of the weaknesses like JP Crawford and Luis Castillo, and then keep bolstering the team, bolstering the bullpen, getting more right-handed hitters that are qualified better than Refsnyder and Joe, and eventually good things will happen. But I'm still not giving up on this team this year. I still think that we could end up being, the 3rd, 4th, 5th best team in the American League before it's all said and done. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th inning and see who's up next for the Padres. Next up for the Padres, 1 for 4 with a run and a K, second baseman Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second, 1 for 4 with a run, third baseman Miguel Andujar. And batting third, the absolute Mariner crusher, the Mariner killer, 3 for 3, 2 runs, 4 RBIs, and a base on ball, single-handedly beating the Mariners by himself, Gavin Sheets. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, I agree. I think will be floating around 500, a couple games below, a couple games above. Probably won't get anything above, 5 games above 500 at the most. I mean, you assume that if we ever get hot, before the All-Star break, it'll probably be somewhere in that 2, 3, 4 game, 5 game range above 500, but no more than that. And then after the All-Star break, we assume that we can end up, hopefully, getting on a run where we could end up winning 8 in a row, 9 in a row, 10 in a row, at least once this season. But if we can end up doing something like that twice, in the second half of the season, it could really help. First pitch to Fernando Tatis Jr. pops up to left field. Randy Arozarena is there, and that is 1 away. Well, he's 0 for 2. He does have a run and a walk. And each time that he ended up getting contact, he hit it deep. So he looks good, and hasn't really made any mistakes at third base, playing kind of a newer position. Same thing with Brendan Donovan. Normally they play, shortstop, second base, not third, but, 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gonzalez to Andujar. But Domingo Gonzalez has been a little bit of a bright spot, for us. And again, I just can't wait for, Matt Brash and Gabe Spire to come back, as well as Victor Robles and Cal Raleigh and, Brendan Donovan. It's like so many fucking injuries. It's just ridiculous. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Andujar with that slider, low and away, and that is 2 away. Yeah, but he does play shortstop, and he is going to be the shortstop for the Mariners for the next 10 years. It's just that obviously J.P. Crawford is still around, right? And then he ended up taking he got beamed in the shoulder and then left the game and whatnot. But at some point, if J.P. misses time, then it may just be Colt Emerson, the rest of the way, and then J.P. could end up maybe, just being the backup, or I don't know if JP can play third base or not, but again, he hasn't really been very good, defensively at his best position at short. So I assume if JP went to third, he'd probably do worse and mess up even more. And then when Donnie gets back, maybe, Donnie needs to go to DH maybe, I don't know. It really just depends on, his body, if he can, take the punishment game in and game out and whatnot. But 1-0 pitch from Gonzalez to Sheets, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 9th, 8-3 Padres. Domingo Gonzalez on the mound, Gavin Sheets in the box. But eventually, J.P. Crawford and Luis Castillo will be off this team next year. And then, again, you'll have Cole at second, Colt Emerson at short for the next 5 to 10 years, presumably, right? And then if we can pair that up with Naylor at first and Donovan at third, if he's healthy enough to stay at third, we could have one of the best infields in baseball. But, Donovan is, had some illnesses and injuries, and it's been rough. We can't really win without Donnie in the lineup or Cal, and, most teams, obviously, if they had 2 of their top, 6 guys out, you would probably struggle too. So 3-1 pitch, high and away, and that's a walk to Sheets. And on top of, missing Donovan and Cal, missing 2 of the top 3 guys in the pen, having a shitty closer in Mooney for the most part, and Castillo and Gilbert have been shitty this year. And then anytime that we try to do something big for our pitchers, when they get 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Ks, for whatever reason, we can't get hits in those games, and it just stinks. We definitely have not done the pitchers justice. They definitely deserve more, and it's everyone. Kirby and Wu and Hancock and Miller, obviously coming back, and Gilbert and Castillo. Just really hard for us to put together a full complement. Great starting pitching, great bullpen, great hitting, great defense in one game. And every once in a blue moon, we'll do it, where everything is awesome, but based on injuries and poor play, realistically, we only get usually 1 of 4 or maybe 2 out of 4. 3 if we're really lucky, but it's normally not all 4 categories locked in a game. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Manny Machado. Yeah, and again, even with all this bullshit that has happened, look at our record. We should be a lot worse than we are. And the American League is bad, so we're actually not in as bad of a position as people think. And a nice grab there by Randy in left field, and that is out number 3 on Manny Machado. All right, well, we need 5 runs to tie, 6 runs to win. Is that going to happen here? No. But again, hopefully we can, get on a little bit of a mini rally and see where it goes. And again, considering that there's only 2 good teams in the American League out of 15, and then you got the Guardians and the A's trying to become, that 3rd and 4th team with the Yankees and the Rays, and then it's just kind of everyone else is, right there, even including the Guardians and the A's. Everyone is a couple games above, a couple games below 500, or at 500, besides obviously the bottom feeders that are, 5, 10, 15 games below 500. And we have to be thankful that with all the bullshit that we've gone through this year, we're still in 2nd place, in the division, so again, it could be a hell of a lot worse. Imagine if we had like the Astro record, or if we were one of the bottom teams, our mental health would be much worse, even though I know a lot of Mariner fans can't handle these L's, and again, it kind of just depends on how long of a fan you've been. If you've only been a fan of this team for 5 to 10 years or less, you're not taking these losses very easy, but if you've been a fan, 20, 30, 40 years, you're handling the losses a little bit better. You always know, after you take an L, you dust yourself off and there's another day to compete to try to get back into the win column. So, and that's kind of how I approach it. No matter how bad things are going, we always have that next game to prove ourselves. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, second baseman Cole Young. Batting second, 0 for 2, Dominic Canzone, the Italian Stallion, and batting third, 0 for 3, Mitch Garver. But I'll tell you what, a lot of teams, if they didn't have 2 of their top, 6 guys, and Donnie and Cal, with everything else that's been going wrong, I mean, lots of teams would not survive, and even if Cal only hits 25 to 30 home runs instead of the 60 that he had last year, again, participated in the home run derby and the WBC, won the home run derby, didn't get injured all year, still hit 60 home runs, ended up being a great, second manager, kind of managing everyone as a starter and in the bullpen as well. Cal was overworked, and now the injuries are kind of catching up and whatnot. So we just have to hope that Cal doesn't have reoccurring injuries for the rest of his career. We want him to be healthy. First pitch from Bradley Rodriguez to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. Change up 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Yeah, but again, if you end up having all of these problems, I mean, what do you think? That all of a sudden we're going to have all these injuries and all this poor play, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to be 10 games above 500? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, this is baseball. Nobody likes to be 3 games under 500, but again, if you play bad and you have injuries, that's not excuses. It's just what's happening, and you should know that. Pitch is inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. And again, I think, we are a little salty, Hawks, with the MVP thing, for sure. But Isaac, you should know better. Again, you just can't expect, us to be great when we're not playing well and we have injuries. I mean, it's not excuses, it's what's happening. And down goes Cole Young, and that is 1 away. I mean, I've never seen a team that has bad players, underperforming and having injuries, and all of a sudden they're the best team in baseball. Come on, be real. First pitch to Canzone, fouled off, 0-1 count. Pitch fouled back and hits the ump. Hopefully he's okay. Bottom of the ninth inning, 8-3 San Diego. And you got to think, we were the worst hitting team in baseball prior to that first Astros series, batting 188, you know? Like, what do you expect? You know, we go from the worst hitting team in baseball, right? We had the second worst hitter in baseball in Josh Naylor. We've had all of these injuries. Castillo's garbage. Mooney is garbage. You know, and now we don't have fucking Brash and Spire. We have a bunch of guys that are fucking AAA players in the pen. Like, what do you expect? You expect us to, you know, be 10 games above? Be first place and be like the Yankees or the Rays? Come on. Ridiculous. Based on everything that's happened, we have to be blessed that we're only 3 games below 500, honestly. 0-1 pitch, big, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Change up 90 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rodriguez to Canzone. I mean, if we had 0 injuries, right, and then we have a record like this, then yeah, you have a right to complain, but there's no reason to complain, you know, that we're below 500 with everything that's gone against us this year. Two-two pitch, and big, swing and a miss. Down goes Dominic Canzone, and that is 2 away. And potentially the last batter here, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, Mitch Garver. You know, some of us are a little bit more mentally tough than others. You know, you have to be able to understand, you know, that, you know, when things end up going sideways, you can't expect too much. First pitch is low and away to Mitch Garver, 1-0 count. And on top of all those things that I mentioned, it's not like we have a good manager either. You know, Dan Wilson is not very good, you know, but again, there's not a lot of really good managers that are out there. So, you know, we got to just try to do our best with what we have. And that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to just do our best with what we have until we get guys back from injury. One pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth, 8-3 Padres. Two-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is the ball game. And sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Final score, San Diego Padres 8, Seattle Mariners 3. And somehow, some way, we ended up getting to 3 runs with only 1 hit today. And again, gladly that we're done against this particular team. Let's go over the stat line here real quick. And we just have to be happy that we're not playing a 4-game set rather than just 3. Fernando Tatis Jr., 1 for 5 with a run. Miguel Andujar, 1 for 5 with a run. Gavin Sheets, the MVP today, 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Manny Machado, 1 for 5 with a run. Xander Bogaerts, 0 for 3 with a run. Jackson Merrill, 1 for 4 with a run. You can see a common theme here. Ramon Laureano, 0 for 3 with a run. Ty France with a fantastic game, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And Freddie Fermin, 0 for 4. All right, on the flip side, J.P. Crawford 0 for 1 before he got hurt. And then we ended up bringing in Leo Rivas, and he went 0 for 1 with a run. Julio Rodriguez 0 for 3 with a run. Josh Naylor 0 for 3 with an RBI. Randy Arosarena 0 for 3 with an RBI. Luke Rayleigh 1 for 2. Cole Young 0 for 4, which is not ideal. Dominic Canzone 0 for 3. Mitch Garver 0 for 4. And Colt Emerson with 2 hard hit balls in the right field, but ended up both getting caught. He did have a run and ended up taking a walk in his MLB debut, and maybe we'll end up getting his first hit in the next series. Final score, Padres 8, Mariners 3, and the Padres end up sweeping us. Obviously, 3 games in San Diego and 3 games here in Seattle, but we don't have to worry about playing them again for at least quite a while. So, again, we just got to be able to put our best foot forward and see what we can end up getting in the next potential series. So, and let's take a quick peek here. And we play the White Sox starting tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific. And again, I'll take Paisley to the vet tomorrow at 3, and I'll be back, obviously, in time for the start of the game. So appreciate all the people that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. Shout out to Dawn to help out with the vet bill opportunity there. Thank you so much. And again, hopefully we'll be able to bounce back against the White Sox, which was pretty tough for us with Munetaka Murakami in Chicago. And hopefully we can win 2 out of 3 against Chicago starting tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific. And I got one question for you. Well, you know, talk sports like us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I am out. Tridents up and go Mariners.